Has the consequences of a lack of actions been showing up for you lately? Do you feel like you're playing catch up all the time and wish there was a better way and a simpler way for you to become more efficient? Well, let's see if we can answer those questions with today's featured book. Hi there, and welcome to the Booksters Club, where we find daily inspiration from the books you love. Today's featured book is Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, and today's inspirational thought comes to us on page number 25. It says, "The mark of the superior thinker is his or her ability to accurately predict the consequences of doing or not doing something. The potential consequences of any task or activity are the key determinants of how important a task really is to you and to your company. This way of evaluating the significance of a task is how you determine what your next frog really is." Eating that frog simply means that you start with the most difficult thing first. If you have a list of things and eating a frog is one of those things on your list, that's definitely the hardest thing that you're going to be able to do. So if you put that at the top of the list, everything gets a little bit easier on the way down. And if you can look at what will happen if you don't do a difficult task as a consequence, that can help you evaluate your priorities to show you what needs to be done first. And by looking at things by consequence is the mark of a leader, because you know that that is something of high priority. We're all going to work in life, and we're all going to have things that we have to do. But if you recognize that efficiency is actually not giving yourself more things to do, but less, because it makes you work smarter, not harder, then you will have the mark of a leader and recognize that efficiency is really the way to go. So I have 4 ways that are going to help you not only evaluate what needs to get done, but make it easier for you to accomplish whatever hard task you have in front of you. Number 1, what worked and what didn't work. If at the beginning or the end of the day you simply went through all of the motions of that day and you, without praise or judgment, looked at what worked and what didn't work, then you're going to be able to start to see patterns, and you're going to be able to cherry pick the things that worked and duplicate them and do them more often. And then the things that didn't work are going to start to show up as patterns, and you can start to consciously try to get rid of those things. Number 2, you should become independent. I know that sounds really simple, but when you can stop blaming others for being late, or for a project not getting done, or for not being able to finish that report on time, you are actually going to be able to start taking responsibility, the ability to respond, and you're going to have more power to actually make beneficial changes in the right direction. If you are constantly blaming others, well, all of your power no longer lies with you, but in the fact that other people are going to be able to make you successful in life or not. Number 3, have your future self thank you for everything that you've done for it. So you should always be in the service of your future self. Your future self has things that that person needs to do, and by not doing what needs to be done right now, well, you're overloading that person in the future. So do what needs to be done here and now, and if you have a little extra time, do a little extra, because then that future self gets to relax. If you're able to take a task and do what can be done right now instead of later, you're not going to be putting a stamp or the energy of a hurried project or a scatterbrained project. It's going to be the best thing that you can do, whatever task that may be, and then you can relax later. If you try to relax first and then try to accomplish a task, it just never works out. Number 4, set yourself up for success. Whatever the task is, you can actually go and set up the space that that task needs to be accomplished. If you have to write a report, for example, you can go to that office the night before, an hour before, organize, clean up the space, maybe get a pot of coffee ready or some tea, get the mug out there, create the environment for that task to be completed in an organized, well thought out space. Let me know in the comments if any of these tips have helped you eat that frog a little bit easier and determine what that frog may be. If you had a different take on this part of the book, a different part in this book, or a different book entirely that you think should be featured here on the Booksters Club, I would love to know about it in the comments. Thank you so much for clicking that like button if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell if you're new, because I post new videos just like this one every single day. See you tomorrow, Booksters. Well, let's see what we have in today's featured book. Let's see what we have. Let's see if we can answer those questions. All right. Has a consequence that is supposed to be avoided, and okay. I almost had it. It's right there. Okay. I have 4 ways for you to help. I have 4 ways to help you. Okay. And start to thin out. Nope. Okay. Okay. Thin out. Okay. Number 1, what worked and what didn't work. Okay, what worked and what didn't work. Okay. Number 1, what worked and what didn't work. Okay.